Okay, we are ready for our second Zoom session, and we are here to discuss our case study. Case study one, actually. So it's Misha Gadsden and Leanne Dixon. And I think we're ready to begin. Let's take a look. Just, thinking about our norms, we've already set those in place, but we'll just make sure that this time we keep under our time limit to make sure that we get everything in. So with the first case study, this was about the principal as the instructional leader. And overall, this principal comes into a spot where he was well respected within his school community, and he was able to become the principal. Some of the things that he kind of ran into, well, let me just start with the first one. What do you think of the way James handled his particular situation, considering his limited background? So my thought on that earlier was just that, yes, he had limitations with reading, but he was also able to supplement and make sure he's, connected with a reading teacher and took appropriate professional development. My only drawback with how he kind of addressed the staff at the beginning is that he called out his deficiency. And I don't know if that's something that, even though if you're being transparent, I don't know if that's something as a leader you want everyone to know, hey, I really don't know what I'm doing at all. So maybe he could have gone about that particular piece a different way, because he stated, I'm not a reading expert, and as a matter of fact, I have very little experience with the teaching and understanding the skills required for teaching reading. So immediately, even though, he's well respected, like that's a huge piece in the puzzle for leading a school. So I don't know, I just kind of felt in between with like the part with him being transparent and then also the part about like not sharing too much. I like how he handled it later and was able to go about making sure he understood fundamentals of reading. And so getting with his reading teacher was critical.
Yeah. So now, do I share my part one too?
Yeah, let's stick with the first question.
Okay. So with the first question, I also put that I think he was very positive in trying to handle the situation where he did have limited instructional knowledge. I felt like he was trying to be open and talk to his staff about that limitation, but I kind of was the same way. I was a little bit leery, though, that could come back and kind of cause people to question him because he doesn't have that background. But at the same time, everyone knew that he was the PE teacher, so it's like, it's not like he could hide it. And I think that, when you have someone step into that leadership role, I think there is a line of like, okay, they need to admit, but then, putting it out too much might make people think you're not equipped to do your job.
Yeah.
But I also said that I'm glad that he didn't pretend to know or to understand everything. I've definitely had experience with that with a principal who thought he knew and would never say he didn't know, and teachers definitely picked up on, why does he say he knows what he's talking about and he really didn't, it contradicted what the teachers knew. So I think that that's good, and I think that he does the right thing because with going to other people, because he did go quickly, and so it wasn't like he was trying to do it on his own to begin with and then it was a flop. I feel like he was being proactive instead of reactive in that case. So I think that really helped him also to receive the feedback because he was humble in that. So
let's look at the second one too. What more could be done to help his reading scores in this school? I just said maybe providing the professional development to the entire staff, and like using kind of like an all hands on deck approach, just so like everybody's all in, this is our common goal. Like involving everyone, not just classroom teachers, but getting like support staff, elective teachers, everyone on board to, whether it's like one-on-one tutoring with students, kind of pairing up students across the school with an adult, just so that they could do like check-ins and just like reading one-on-one during breaks or something like that, so that every moment kind of is utilized and every person is utilized to help with the reading. I also think too, like establishing, like maybe getting a team, like doing like a PLC that's focused on reading. I know he has his reading coach, but just getting some other personnel involved with that. And I think if we start there, like with the PLC, and then present it to the staff, I think they would be very receptive to it.
Yes. So mine went right along with the same lines. I think he was good to enlist the help of the reading specialist in his district, but I also wondered too about data. It didn't really mention anything there. And so, I just feel like with, creating a good, strong PLC, that I feel like he needs to probably get some data and help. Is that an area that's weak for them? Is that they don't have a universal screener maybe for reading skills? And, maybe they didn't have a principal who talked about their EVOS with them. So I felt like, bringing that data in would be a big step towards those reading scores. And maybe the teachers didn't have a good progress monitoring tool, but I think that the data piece helps it not be so about the teachers, but really about the kids.
Right.
And so, and really so teachers know what the kids' needs are. I also put too that, with him being his background, he may not be as aware, and it talked about them encouraging him to go, but I said the same thing, that he might need a group of teachers or buy-in from them, and he goes with them to training. I think that that'll make, undivided front for him and the teachers. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
What additional resources could James utilize to help the school improve? I just said if there's additional funding, we can hire additional reading coaches, TAs or tutors. I'm not sure if they had this TAs assigned to each grade level, but perhaps if the funding's available, making sure that there was one assigned to each grade level so that they could do some small groups and really target the skills that they need. And then also just thinking about the schedule, making sure that there's time built in the master schedule for them to do remediation and enrichment. So like making sure they're able to teach the core, but then also at least like 30 minutes a day where they're able to do some reteach and enrichment.
Yes. I said the same thing. And I talked here again, I talked about data and just that, they may have resources, they may not be using those resources. So I think too, like just knowing what all the teachers have in their classrooms or what they've been working with to really streamline, their best practice and their core. And then I said the same thing about making sure that they have opportunity in their schedule for like flexible grouping so that they can meet, because they may have very diverse needs in reading. They may have a lot of, on level, below level, and above. So
true.
Yeah. And then I said too that, with it being online testing, Daddy, sorry. And I said too that with online testing, I just wonder too, like for my school system, that was something we had to invest in, was really finding online resources that helped our students become more familiar with reading online so that they, so I said that too, that might be something he might consider if their district is doing online testing.
True. Yeah, because that's where everyone's headed.
Yes, yeah. Our district just switched over, like last year was our first year that we did all check-ins and EOGs online.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah, our check-ins are online. We were going to have third grade do online for EOG, and they pushed
Mhm.
that back. So now it's still just fourth through eighth or whatever. So I guess, yeah, third grade. So like when we do our assessments, it's still both, like, because they know they're going to have paper pencil for EOG as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
The last question said, what could he be sacrificing, if anything, by placing an extraordinary emphasis only on the reading program? And even though reading was a huge focus, I said, since PE was already a great highlight of his school, just making sure that that area continues to be a success, so that, we didn't have this strong PE department and now it's like completely demolished. So like finding someone who could follow up behind him to keep what he had in place still running. And then also just looking at that whole department, special area as a whole, to see if any support's needed, because it sounded like he was a big piece to that department. So just making sure that there's someone else strong to take up that his position. And then maybe thinking about like clubs or programs, so that like the whole focus is not just on reading. They know that they have other areas that they're strong in as well.
Yeah. I put that he was smart in going to the reading, but in that first paragraph, when it talked about how the teachers were demoralized, they were
Mm-hmm.
tired, there was all this like rowdy, undisciplined system. I put that, he really can't miss that opportunity to take what he was doing really well in the PE department
Yeah.
and bring that to the whole school.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he did something like PBIS or something like that, but I feel like that to really get the teachers to feel that he has control of students, that they have the control of the students. I feel like that he can't neglect the fact that he was a strong disciplinarian, and that's something his school needed.
Right.
And so I put that, I think that that's a big, could really help him with his teachers too, if they were really working on strengthening their behavior system. And because he was good with that, he could just roll out, this is what I did, so let's do this school wide. So
Yeah.
I feel like that would really help with just overall. I mean, and that could be part of the problem, is maybe the kids were, unruly during their core instruction time, and
that
that
affected
was
the
reflected in our
scores.
reading scores. Yeah.
Yep.
So I feel like, classroom management is pretty important. So I think if that's a
Yeah,
strength,
investing in something that's going to be school wide.
yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
Yay. Well,
yeah.
I don't think there was enough. I think there were just 4 for that. But I know for our next one, we'll look at case study 2. So from this, like I can upload this one into, well, I'll send you the link, the YouTube link, and then we'll write a written reflection for 1 page.
Okay. And it's 1 page, and one part is about, I was trying to read the directions one more time. 1 page reflective summary, both the case study and the Zoom session.
Yes. So we'll write about kind of like what our responses were,
Okay.
and then what our conversation was from our Zoom session.
Okay. Super.
Yay!
All right.
Woo!
Yay.
We did it.
Class finished.
Alrighty. Well, you have a wonderful week, and I guess I'll see you not this Tuesday, next Tuesday.
Yes. Enjoy the break.
I shall.
I try to get ahead. We'll see.
We
Maybe.
will. Yes, we will.
Yes.
Okay. See you later.
Have a good one.
Okay.
Bye.
You too. Bye.